that's quite deliberate. I always like to leave evidence of the layers of the creation of the drawing, and I'm following through with that to an extent, you know, for the drawing inverted commas that I've got with this white animal. But added some nostrils and the beginnings of an eye on the orange cow. And then, you know, we can still have a little bit of drawing on this orange cow as well. So I'm using that ultramarine blue over the top of what I've already done. And where that goes over the burnt umber, that's going to create a nice, you know, deep dark, because the ultramarine blue is quite, it's got a little bit of translucency there. So when you paint it, especially if you put it down fairly thin, when you paint it on top of burnt umber, it creates a really nice dark. So just beginning to also correct the shape of the head there as well, make it a little less pointed. And we've got a mix of the cadmium yellow, a bit of the orange, and the, I think it might be the the titanium white now at this stage. And you can see here that, you know, I felt the nose wasn't quite proportioned correctly, so I've just you know, corrected that by more or less undoing what I did before. But that happens sometimes, and the great thing with acrylic is you can just go over or move around what you've done already. So back to the big brush. So this is a mixture of the orange straight out of the tube and burnt umber, which, if you remember when I painted the Canadian cowboy study a couple of weeks ago, it produces this really nice coppery brown. So I think I'm going to be using more and more of that combo. I really like it. So sometimes what I find happens when I'm painting away is, you know, I perhaps switch to the smaller brush like I did. I start to add a few highlights, and then I sort of step back from the painting and I think, well, I've kind of started to lose what I had before. And when that happens, for whatever reason, I find the best thing to do is go back to the really big shapes and think to myself, have I defined this just as a lump with a key shadow area and a key highlight area? So I've gone back to my big brush now, so I can't be too fussy. And again, this brown, this lovely coppery brown, the combination of the orange, tube orange, and the burnt umber, it creates a brown which is nice and translucent as well. So just like I used the ultramarine blue earlier, putting this down as a shadow color is really nice as well, because I'm not completely losing the work I've done before. You can see some of those very dark shadows from the early stages are still showing through. You see now as I just painted over the belly there, that dark shadow is still showing.